Tonight, explore the impact of ATHAF, a local tradition. Grady Newsource reporter Wangeshi Rare talks about how one local school system is showing significant progress through their test scores.
And later, we'll have an update on what's trending in the social sphere in Georgia.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Isaiah Joseph bringing you the news this evening. Georgia officials have taken to Twitter to express their thoughts about the death of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi on Sunday. U.S. President Donald Trump announced in a press conference that al-Baghdadi committed suicide before a raid by U.S. Special Forces in northwestern Syria on Saturday.
Baghdadi's demise demonstrates America's relentless pursuit of terrorist leaders and our commitment to the enduring and total defeat of ISIS and other terrorist organizations.
Georgia Senator David Perdue tweeted that President Trump's strategy sends an important message to terrorists. In addition, Representatives Doug Collins and Barry Loudermilk also voiced their praise of U.S. officials' special forces emphasizing their bravery. Loudermilk tweeted, quote, "Last night, one of the most vile agents of evil was taken down by some of America's bravest and finest warriors," end quote. President Trump says that U.S. forces obtained highly sensitive material and information during the raid about the future plans of ISIS. Gunfire was reported at a Sunday night vigil for the victims of Texas A&M University's party shootings the night before. The vigil was held at a park in a Dallas neighborhood. Officers responded to a call about the shooting around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Police say that no one was injured. However, there were reports of damage to several vehicles. The victims commemorated during the vigil were the 2 reported dead in the Texas A&M party shooting Saturday, the night before. In addition to the 2 killed, 12 were reported injured, 4 of which are said to be in critical condition. After fleeing following the shooting, the gunman is still at large. We will update you as we get more information. An investigation is underway into the 3rd officer-involved shooting that happened in Athens this month. On Saturday, Athens police shot and killed a man who allegedly put a gun on officers while police were responding to a fight between neighbors. Grady Newsource reporter Ashlyn Webb joins us where the shooting took place. For the first time ever, collection sites accepted e-cigarettes and vaping devices in addition to prescription pills and drugs for citizens to safely dispose of. Grady Newsource reporter Wellesley Kessel sat down with the Athens Clarke County Police officer that helped coordinate the Athens location drive.
Big issue, and the issue that we're confronting in a lot of our schools, is that counterfeit jewel pods are being made available. This would give you an opportunity to dispose of something you thought might be illegal, like one of those counterfeit cartridges that may contain THC or some other chemicals, without any consequence. Now, we didn't have it happen this time, and I haven't had it happen in the previous times we've been out, but it would give you also the opportunity to turn over an illegal drug without any fear or consequence.
National Drug Take-Back Day was held on October 26th. The collection day helps prevent abuse of prescription drugs as well as harm to the environment if disposed improperly. If you miss your local Take Back Day drive, you can find year-long drug disposal locations near you at takebackday.dea.gov. Up next, we have a story about the lasting impact of one local tradition and an update on some impressive test scores from one school system.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Hundreds of people made their way to downtown Athens this weekend for the annual AthHalf event. Grady Newsource reporter Paige Watkins has more.
A sea of runners took off just before sunrise, participating in the 10th annual AthHalf, a half marathon in Athens, Georgia for a good cause this Sunday. People lined the streets to cheer the runners on throughout the course that started downtown, made its way through 5 Points, and finished outside of Sanford Stadium. Mary Slies, a University of Georgia student from Columbus, Georgia, says she ran the event 2 years ago but came to cheer on her friends.
I love exercise. I love that people are coming out and getting active, and I love seeing people come and support their friends.
Jacob Cooper from Kennesaw, Georgia, experienced his first AthHalf as a spectator.
My favorite part was seeing people so happy across the finish line, and then also seeing my friends accomplish goals that they had set for a while. And then I liked seeing people who were dressed up for Halloween in the race as well.
For each of the runners, it's obvious they want to make it across the finish line, but for Athens resident Laura Whitaker, the victory means more.
I am running the marathon for Kick It Up for Kyla.
She says Kyla is a 19-year-old extra special people participant who died this summer.
Her mom always dreamed of pushing her in her wheelchair in a half marathon, and so those of us that are out here in purple are doing it in honor of Kyla and in support of her family.
Whitaker says honoring Kyla gave her perseverance.
Every time I felt tired or frustrated, I'd see those purple balloons, I'd remember Kyla, I'd think about her mom pushing her up hills and down hills, and I'd think, you know what, I can do this too.
Stories like Whitaker's is what Jill Helm, executive director of AthFest Educates, looks forward to.
I know I'm doing it for that person who's really pushing to get themselves over the finish line.
The proceeds of this event help fund AthFest Educates, a nonprofit organization supporting music and arts education in the community. Helm says although young people are clearly benefiting from the race, other parts of the community are too.
People are coming in from out of town, so hotels are getting businesses, restaurants are getting businesses.
Helm says to date the organization has awarded over $410,000 in grants to support their mission in Athens. This year's recipients include Barnett Shoals Elementary School, the UGA Performing Arts Center, and the Athens-Clarke County Library.
Helm. Sorry. You good.
All right, please count down again. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Helm says the best way to get involved with AthFest Educates is a volunteer. Helm said, oh.
Sorry.
You good.
All right, please count down again. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Helm says the best way to get involved with AthFest Educates is to volunteer through their events. If you want more information, visit their website, athfest.org.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out
For summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and...
Good news for Barrow County schools after Georgia's Department of Education released 2019 CCRPI test scores. The recently introduced system measures how districts are working to help students achieve their goals.
Barrow County saw an increase in their College and Career Ready Performance Index, also known as CCRPI. They saw increases in scores across all school levels, meaning their elementary, middle, and high schools had a higher result overall in comparison to 2018. By how much so? To put in context, on a school grading system, Barrow's elementary and middle schools went up a whole letter grade, and their high schools by 2%. Dr. Matt Thompson, director of the Barrow County School System, says the teachers' continued focus on ensuring each student improves within their own scoring abilities is what allowed the school to see an improvement.
It's about growth for every student, and that's kind of been our focus, is just take students where they're at, and the goal of instruction is to meet them where they're at and try to get them to move forward.
Focus on ensuring each student improves within their own scoring abilities is what allowed the school to see an improvement. Thompson adds it's important to note that the results are directly related to the end-of-the-year milestone test. And while they include this factor in improving their schools, other programs, such as their upcoming Arts and Innovation Academy, also include other types of students' experiences.
To see the complete results and how each school performed individually, visit barrow.k12.georgia.us/CCRPI results 2019.
I'm Jada Bowman with a closer... Are you guys ready?
Sorry, I'll tell you when.
Okay.
And whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jada Bowman with a closer look at data from the website regarding College and Career Readiness Performance Index. The Performance Index can be used to compare one school's performance to another school's, and that's exactly what we'll be looking at today. Every school receives a score from 0 to 100, and this is their CCRPI score. The scores are broken down into Georgia elementary school, middle school, and high schools. Barrow County schools and Oconee County schools saw an increase in overall CCRPI results from 2018 to 2019. Barrow County elementary schools showed the greatest overall difference among the Northeast Georgia schools with a 10.8 increase. Also, something to note is that middle schools in Barrow County, Madison, and Jackson perform better overall than the average results in the state of Georgia. The overall CCRPI scores for all levels of Oconee County are greater than the overall 2019 results for the state of Georgia.
I'm Taylor Harris, and coming up in sports, we'll take a look into Georgia's soccer and volleyball matchups this weekend, a post-game 5 update on the World Series, and a live look at women's golf in the Bahamas. Stay tuned.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out!
For summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to UnitedWay.org because great things happen when we live united.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow! You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
And now, sports.
My name is Taylor Harris, and I'm here with your Grady Newsource Sports. Georgia's women volleyball 6-match winning streak came to an end this weekend when they suffered a 3-set loss to Texas A&M at Reed Arena. Despite their loss, 5 players recorded 5 or more kills, with senior setter Megan Donovan recording her 8th double-double of the season. They are now 15-5 overall and 7-2 in their conference. The Bulldogs will be back in action against Arkansas this Wednesday in Stegman Coliseum at 8 p.m. The White Sands Invitational is underway as Georgia's women's golf team competes for their final tournament in 2019. The inaugural tournament in Nassau, Bahamas started today, where the Dogs were set for an 8 a.m. tee time. They were paired with the Oklahoma Sooners and the Tennessee Volunteers for the opening round. After today's play, the Dogs hit 5th on the team leaderboard at 1 over par. Players on the leaderboard include Katarina Dawn, Jo Hua Hung, Celeste Dow, Jenny Bay, Caroline Craig, and Allison Crenshaw. Freshman Katarina Dawn is the leading player, tied for 4th at 3 under par, having shot a 69. Tied for 21st is Hung, who shot even par. Next on the board is Dow, Bay, and Craig, who are all tied for 35th. They are 2 over, having shot a 74. And tied for 76 is Allison Crenshaw, who is 7 over, having shot a 79. The tournament will continue through Wednesday, and live scoring can be accessed at www.golfstat.com. The Houston Astros have taken the lead in the World Series after defeating the Washington Nationals 7-1 in Game 5 this Sunday.
That's the first flag down by Gurriel. What a play for the out.
The series results stand at 3-2, with the Astros coming back from the first 2 losses with 3 consecutive wins. Houston is only 1 win away from claiming the title for the second time within the past 3 years. Both teams will spend today traveling back to Houston, Texas, where they will face off for Game 6 on Tuesday at Minute Maid Park. The game is set to start at 8 p.m. UGA's women's soccer extended a 4-game winning streak after a 1-1 double overtime draw against Arkansas this weekend. After defeating both Ole Miss and Mississippi State, Georgia played to a tie against Kentucky and Arkansas. This 4-game streak is the most consecutive wins under head coach Billy Lassane and the longest that the Bulldogs have gone without a loss since 2013. The top 10 teams with the highest conference points will compete in the SEC Championship in Orange Beach, Alabama, starting November 3rd. Georgia now has earned 12 conference points. Their final regular season game will be held here in Athens when they take on the Florida Gators this Thursday, 7 p.m. at Turner Soccer Complex.
I'm Julia Sanders, and coming up, I will be giving you today's weather and the 5-day forecast for the week.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
And now, the weather.
I'm Julia Sanders, and starting off with today's weather, we're going to be talking about the evening forecast, as well as driving and fog tips, and rain possibilities, and the 5-day forecast for this week. To start off, Athens tonight is at 6 p.m. it will be 78 degrees. At 9 p.m. it will be 66 degrees, and at midnight it will be 60 degrees. Athens tomorrow at 9 a.m. it will be 61 degrees. At noon it will be 70 degrees, and at 8 p.m. there's a possibility of thunderstorms, and it will be 68 degrees. The 5-day forecast on Wednesday and Thursday, there are possibilities of thunderstorms, and it will be a high of 73 and low of 66. On Thursday, a high of 78 and a low of 51. And on Friday, it will be a high of 65 and a low of 43. And on Friday, it will be much more clear skies. As well, on Saturday and Sunday will be sunny. On Saturday, it will be a high of 65 and a low of 40. And on Sunday, it will be a high of 63 and a low of 39. So this morning, you might have seen some fog. So you might be wondering, where does fog come from? According to the NOAA.gov website, fog forms when the air near the ground cools enough to turn its water vapor into liquid water or ice. And now I'm going to give you some tips for when you have to drive in the foggy weather. On the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration website, it has some driving in the fog tips. Tip 1 is to slow down. Tip 2 is to make sure you use your low beam headlights, not your high beam lights. Lastly, leave enough room between you and the car ahead of you to account for sudden stops. I'm Julia Sanders, and that's all for today's weather update.
This is Skylar Nicholson, and in a few minutes we'll get you updated on the latest in social media and entertainment from around our state.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Don't worry, the 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play more. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Bats are not just a symbol of the Halloween season, but an important species in many Georgia ecosystems. Bats also happen to be in declining numbers due to habitat loss and pesticide use. A Bulldogs for Bats bake sale is being held by the University of Georgia School of Ecology. The baked goods will be sold to raise funds for interdisciplinary bat conservation efforts. The sale will be in the Ecology Atrium tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Former basketball star Shaquille O'Neal performed an act of kindness for one local family. Isaiah Payton, a 12-year-old from Atlanta, was paralyzed from chest down in a shooting that took place during a high school game earlier this month. O'Neal is an advocate against gun violence and says what happened to Isaiah Payton could happen to anyone. O'Neal purchased a home for Payton's family in College Park to give them a more accessible place to live when Isaiah gets home from the hospital. The Grady Newsource family sends our thoughts to Isaiah Payton and his family and wish them a speedy recovery.
Now it's time to dive in the social sphere and take a look at what's trending in our local community. Governor Brian Kemp announced today the recipients of the 8th Annual Governor's Awards for Arts and Humanities. He honored them for helping make Georgia the home for a strong arts and humanities culture that fuels creativity and innovation. Among the 10 recipients here, you can see across the state, the Madison-Morgan Convergency in Madison County here in the Northeast Georgia part was recognized. Now, Georgia also made a splash in the entertainment industry this weekend with the Savannah College of Art and Design Film Festival. Here you can see behind me there were slots going on. It is the largest film festival run by a university in the country. There'll be 159 films showed over the next 8 days, bringing in viewers from around the world at a crowd size of an estimated 60,000 people. Wow, that's a lot. So let's look at some of the tweets we have going on. There are lights, cameras, actions, lots going on. And on November 2nd, the film A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood will wrap up the festival, telling the lives of Mr. Roberts by Tom Hanks. That's it for your trending update. Back to you, Isaiah.
That's all from us here at Grady Newsource tonight. Thank you for tuning in this evening. The news doesn't stop here. Visit GradyNewsource.com for more stories. For Grady Newsource, I'm Isaiah Joseph. Good night.
Production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Don't worry, the 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills? Check. Driver's license? Check. And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
We're live again. I guess we're just gonna jump right in. I'll let Alex start. She directed today. It was kind of a tornado. I mean, there was no hurricanes and weather, but that control room today. Woo. Okay. Here.
Hi guys. I was the director today, and I wrote down a couple notes for you guys. Beginning of the show, before the show even happened, I want to say that Brittany and Peyton had a really excellent communication with me during like the rundown, the process. They kept updating me as soon as they found errors in the rundown, which is excellent. And then also I want to give a shout out to the volunteers. Today was the first time for most of them to come in, and I told them that's not how usually the show goes, and I just want to say thank you guys for your awesome work, and hope you guys continue to come. Okay, so the first thing, where it started to go a little bit wrong was the communication with the live shot. I was a director today, and like literally 1 minute before the show is when I found out that the live shot wasn't up running. There was no sound coming from the live shot. Just basically no one told me. It works both ways. I should have been more aware of what was going on, but again, people should have let on the production side know. And a lot of it is because there was a lot of last minute things, so that's why I wasn't able to look to see if it was up and running. But communication again is key. As soon as something happens, to notify the director and the senior production manager. But then again, no one let us know until like a minute before the show, which is not typically a good thing if it's like the lead of the show. But okay, we'll move on. Also, with Jada's, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was it wasn't edited down correctly, and we just have to retouch with the volunteers a little bit. But to my knowledge, it was a new volunteer, but it's an easy fix. And then I can't read that handwriting. Skylar, she was very helpful today. The communication with her. She didn't have, there was like a misspelling and a pre-recorded, but she was excellent with communicating with us. Like printing out scripts was a big thing. I think if there was more of that today, then it wouldn't have gone the way it, but Skylar did a really good job with labeling things. And there was a couple others who I don't know with the top of my head, but you guys did really good with labeling the scripts. Like Tweet 1, Tweet 2, Tweet 3 was very helpful. Oh man, just moving forward, as soon as you come to know of something, to like let us know, and vice versa. Communication is key, and just like printing out the scripts. I know it's like a lot of paper, but we recycle it. Just communication as a whole, from the director's perspective.
Yeah, I think Alex hit a bunch of them. The very beginning of the show, A Block, was a little confusing, and like she said, I think none of us really knew that the live shot was canceled until like we were in basically the lead for the live shot. So that's kind of a both way type thing. B Block, I think it was the lead for Ath Half, the tag for Ath Half, and the reader. It was all just not edited properly, and that's on us. So I'm sorry if you were affected by that. Same with the smart board. I apologize. I feel kind of bad. So sorry about that. That's on us. That's not you guys. What else was it? The two places I thought we were going to mess up today was the Sport Live and then going live with Skylar, and those were like the easiest things today. So good job to both of you. Yeah, those went flawlessly, I thought. We were like changing virtual sets in between blocks, in between everything, and it still went good. So those worked really well. I like how you went with the new set today for Skylar's thing. I thought that worked really well. Cantrell's always like, let's try the new sets, and we tried them today, so that worked good. Let's see. One of the commercials also, I think it was, we just grabbed commercials out of a file system. It's like, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, apparently the one that we grabbed today was messed up, and there was just black space in it, and it just cut out so early. So again, that's on us, and I'm so sorry about that. What else? I think there was, we tried, the show's a little light, so we added 2 commercials at the end, and we tried to move ASTROS package to E-Block, but I think it was more of we had kind of 15 seconds to to move and decide, and it was in that 15 seconds, can we decide, can Isaiah flip all the way back through his scripts, find it, can we get it in playback, and can everybody know what's going on within like 15 seconds? So I think that's what happened during that little area. So something with that as well. I think that's kind of everything
I wanted to ask why,
from our end that kind of went wrong.
Yeah. I wanted to ask why Skylar was pointing in the opposite direction of what she was supposed to point.
I think that was just not being able to really practice going live.
We taped earlier, it was this hand, and then we got there, it was here, and so I tried to counteract it once I saved like
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see myself or anything pop up until.
Yeah.
I think that was just a
How can
product
we
of we
how
did it
can
one way
we avoid,
earlier.
because it was such a wonderful live shot,
Well-
and for this thing to happen, how can we avoid it in the future?
Well, I think that was a once in a miss type thing, because we already had it
She kept
pre-recorded.
pointing to the wrong
Well, we had it
direction, yeah.
pre-recorded later, and when we pre-recorded it earlier, the way things are set up, she was supposed to point that way. So it was pre-recorded ready, but we changed it to live at the last minute.
Yeah.
So when it's live, it's pointed to a different direction, and she didn't have time to practice the live version of it. So if it was already live to begin with, like Taylor Sports was, she would have known well ahead of time, this is the direction, she would have time to practice, but
Yeah.
because we changed like that to live, it's just one of
Okay.
those small things.
Why was Isaiah looking at the wrong camera from beginning to end? Most of the time he was looking at the wrong camera.
I'm not.
How can we solve
I'm
that?
not sure if it was something
How can we solve
of
that?
us or down in the studio or just a miscommunication. I kind of
Yeah.
think it was a mix of both a little bit, because
So what happened?
in the scripts, the way that we had them I wasn't in the rundown meeting, but from what Alex had marked up and what we had marked up in the scripts, most of the time the one that we were on was supposed to be the one that Isaiah was looking at, and I don't know if it was just whoever was in the studio with you was cueing you on the wrong camera, and if it was, let us know because we can fix that, or if it was just a matter of everything's happening all at once, I don't know what to do, like.
Yeah, so it was, okay, so after the live got taken out, that's when I know I was supposed to, that really, I don't know if I was supposed to switch during that live, but that really kind of messed with me, so and then in the studio, I don't think they really knew, like, which camera to cue me at, or cue me on, and so I was just going, so I don't know if I look, it's probably like just in the heat of the moment with the live shot and that whole package coming
But you also looked at the wrong camera at the end also, when things weren't going wrong.
Yeah, at the end, I went off of what was on there. I gotta check again.
Yeah.
But
Can we help you for next time,
Yeah,
so you
it's-
don't, how can
I guess we
we
can
avoid that next
yeah,
time?
Just the people in the studio, just because I was just going off of what I knew.
Yes.
Just telling them, like.
And I know things got changed around a
Yeah,
lot
things got
during the
changed
show, so
around,
that
yeah.
probably played a factor in it. I think another thing in general, since we have started moving cameras around a lot lately, because usually it's just like you look at this camera the whole time except for the beginning and the end, and that makes it simple. I think if we're going to start moving camera shots around like this, which I like them because it looks good. The one in E-Block where you're like this and you turn like that, it looked really good.
The camera
And
change was wonderful.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and that's how it's
the
supposed to
camera.
look, and I thought that
Yeah.
one looked really well.
Very
I
nice.
think if we are going to start moving cameras around, I think it would help if, not just on our end, but also on everybody's end, if you're in the studio, just know what camera to look at, and even just get down there and practice, like looking and turning and everything back and forth. 'Cause I
So-
know there's a lot happening for y'all down
Yeah.
there.
But let's tackle the most serious thing. I just want us to brainstorm before you guys leave. What happened with Ashlyn's live from each point of view? I want to hear from Ashlyn. I want to hear from you guys. You guys knew a minute before air that there was no audio. That's when you knew. I want to ask.
Actually, it was more than a minute before air.
I
that
knew.
Production.
I
So
knew
I want to
about-
hear from
yeah.
everyone.
From
And
my end, what happened was I
and what
heard
ideas
about
each one of you has, and I have an idea, how we can avoid this
Yes.
at another time. That's what we're doing. We're not criticizing here. We
No, no,
are
totally.
looking ahead. And on Wednesday, we're not going to do this, because today, we are going to, each one of us is going to say, this is what failed, and this is how, from my point of view, you can help me so that we don't have this again. So from your point of view, guys, what went wrong and how can we remedy it?
I think what I noticed was about 10 or 9 minutes-ish before the show, I knew that there was a slight audio issue, and I knew that Jim was going out there and going to fix it. And at
That's
that
what we
point,
thought, too.
exactly. So I knew Jim was going out there to fix it. I knew there was a slight audio issue, and then I knew they would come back to me if it just didn't work. And then from that point, I kind of checked out on that frame because I had like 5 other things to deal with, and obviously I didn't tell you during that part because you were also dealing with getting everything in and getting the shots right. Then about right before, because I still saw like I saw you on the screen and everything, so I'm like, oh, it's good. And then right before we started the show, I forgot who, somebody walked up behind me and said, the live shot's dead. And I said, what do you mean the live shot's dead? And then somebody else said, the live shot's been dead. And then I said, since when did it die? Like, nobody came and checked up with me. And then we started the show. That's what happened from my point of view. I don't know what happened on the ground or
what happened
Yeah.
on the ground is
Ashland, from your point of view, what
yeah,
happened?
so when we got there, so I got there probably an hour before the live shot, Zach and I did. So we got there at 4 o'clock. We set up by 4:20, 4:30. We noticed when setting up, we didn't have the cord that connects the stick mic to the camera. That was problem 1. Then we noticed a lav mic, and we're like, wonderful, we have a lav mic. So we called production and FESR, and they're like, okay, we're coming out here with a cord. The cord never got there, and it was never en route to the location where we were going live, apparently. So that was by 4:30, 4:45. Then the lav mic allegedly worked for a hot second, and then someone said in the audio booth, I think it was Chelsea, said that we were getting audio in the audio booth. And then somehow it cut out.
What time was that?
That was about 4:35, 4:40.
Okay.
And then it cut out. And then we were getting audio just from the live TVU and not the camera, which is real spooky. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so after that, we call into the FESR. We couldn't figure out the problems. We started going into the audio inputs and figuring out if it was a setting issue. So we didn't know what was up with the camera. And by 4:50, we knew that the live shot was going to have to be dead, so that's when I slacked everybody.
4:50.
4:50 is that's when I called and I said we were going to have to cut it, and that's when I messaged everyone in the Slack. I didn't get a message, so I called Peyton, and Peyton didn't have an answer then, and it was just like, let's just go with it, and that was probably about 4:53.
So I was helping Wangeshi try to export her package, and I was like kind of freaking out and dealing with that, and so I was like, okay, like, I don't really know what to do yet, because I thought that Jim was still on his way.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like,
and
it'll
then we
be...
found out that Jim was never on his way. I don't know where the...
Yeah, I'm not
because
really
I don't
sure
think
what
Jim was
happened,
planning
but,
on
like,
I think that's where the miscommunication and
I think
everything
Chelsea
lied.
told us
yeah.
that Jim was on his way, but he wasn't. And the Jim's
'Cause
like,
I
what?
assumed that he was,
I
and
didn't
then...
And so, then like a minute before, I was like, oh, and then Chelsea was like, oh, there's no audio. So like,
yeah,
then
when did you know for sure that there was no audio and this
the live shot was
dead?
it was like a minute, 2 minutes before show. Like
2 minutes
I
before.
called in at 4:53 to you saying we were having audio issues and we did not have it. So that was not a minute before the show.
No, but I'm saying at that point I was like, oh, well, Jim's still coming, so it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, it'll be fine, so I didn't say anything. And then Chelsea told me, like, for sure, like a minute before the show, like, hey, like, this is it.
And so I think one of the big miscommunications is, I think, between Chelsea and us on the ground, we didn't know if we were getting audio in the audio booth for a while because we were told that we were, and then Jim told us we were never getting audio in the audio booth, that someone miscommunicated that with us. So that was another weird thing. So, yeah. 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 And I think that was what we got mixed up about because Zach was saying that he was heading out, but he wasn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, so from our understanding, we knew there were audio difficulties, but not until like the pre-tease music was playing and you were going, where's Ashlyn? Where's Ashlyn? That we realized there was in fact no Ashlyn and there was no live shot. And that was literally moving into her lead. He had started reading it when we were trying to decide where to go from there.
And we were like, oh, no.
And so at that point, did you guys just decide to kill the package at that point?
There was a lot of confusion and a lot of yelling, and I don't think anyone was really sure what we did and did not have.
Okay.
So I think we just...
What did you communicate to Isaiah at this point?
I
because
said...
I was not aware, I was standing next to you, and I did not know that we didn't have the live shot. To me, it was a surprise.
I didn't know until he was in the lead, and when he stopped reading the lead, I said, there's no live shot, you're probably going to move into the drug VOSOT, and then you started looking through your papers for it at that point.
And I couldn't hear also, like,
your IFB, IVF.
If you were told...
I was talking, but
drug,
there was,
if you were told drug VOSOT, would you have understood which script you're supposed to grab, or if you were given a number of a script, What would be a better way to communicate on Wednesday with you when such a thing happens? Because I
Definitely
told
the
you
number.
guys, when you're an anchor, you have to be, you know, you have to follow your scripts, and you have to be able to grab a script really quickly. Is it the number that you would be looking at?
Yeah, definitely
Or
the-
is it a keyword? Like I used to circle a keyword, because if she said the drug Vosot, I could quickly go to the drug's script. So what was, how were you ordering your papers to find them
So
if things failed you?
Because it like A Block just had started, I haven't even like I was live the whole time. I wasn't able to even go through the like the scripts or whatever. So it was like I think it started with like A5 or whatever. And I knew
Did you
like,
get the scripts printed late? You weren't able to look at them and organize them?
I was able to look at them, but
Were you able to organize them? Did you have enough time
oh yeah, I didn't
to
have
organize?
enough time to organize because now I would do like probably A Block and then B Block, or like separated A Block and
Did
B
you
block.
get the scripts in a disorganized way, or were they organized A block, B block?
No,
were
the
they like
scripts
out
were,
of order?
No, the
or-
scripts were great. I just didn't have time to like. I guess I didn't know to separate them like A Block from B Block. You know, just or A Block from E Block or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So if I would have got like a number instead
would that have been
that would have
better?
been easier.
A
Because
number.
when I heard that, I started looking. Like they were talking
Yeah.
in the background. I kind of overheard it, and I started looking
Okay,
for
Peyton,
that in the script.
Note
So,
to
yeah,
self.
number
He
works
goes
better.
by numbers. Would be better for you to say, Ashlyn's live shot is dead. Go to number A3 or whatever. And you look down and you find A3 and you circle all your numbers so that you can quickly find it. And you look down and you start reading off script if the prompter is not in the right place, right? You can say A3 and just a keyword, what A3 is. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good. Okay. From your point of view, how was the communication about Ashlyn's live shot going down?
So when I don't know if it was during like it was like 5 seconds before I was about to go live. I heard that her live shot was killed, but I didn't know what that meant or what that entailed. So I was like, that kind of just threw me off a little bit because I didn't know like what to do in return because I knew it was coming up.
So what did you hear in your ear at that point?
So in my ear, you might have said more. My thing kept coming up, but I heard that.
Whatever you remember.
Yeah, I heard that Ashlyn's live shot was dead, basically.
And did
And
they
that
tell you what to do, where to go next?
Yeah, I didn't hear what to do, or I don't think I got what to do. So I just heard that it was dead. And then once I got to that part on the
And you were not told what to read next?
yeah, I didn't know what to read next.
So I said, Ashlyn's live shot is dead. We're probably moving into the drug Vosot because at that point we didn't know
Probably
if
is
we were
not
playing.
good enough.
We didn't know if we were playing the package.
Probably is not good enough.
I
You
understand,
have to
but-
make at that point, and you weren't the producer
No.
at that point. Thank you for taking over, because there was just like this big crowd around Peyton, and I also, nobody communicated to me that the live shot, I was standing there, you guys were bunched up, and it seems like we didn't communicate. I didn't know that had happened. I was like, what is going on? And then I realized that you had taken over for Peyton and that you were desperately trying to tell Isaiah what to do. And he wasn't getting it. And poor Isaiah was standing there not knowing what to do.
Yeah, it's hard. Marissa, you did a great job. She was communicating with
I
me
wouldn't
the whole
say
time.
I necessarily took over. I just didn't want to tell you specifically because it wasn't my executive job to decide if that package was going to play and if that's what we were rolling into. And I think you handled it really well. Trust me, I would know. Sometimes it happens, and that's a lack of communication both on our part and
Well,
both
it
on
happened
the
to you as
technical
well.
issues.
It happened to you when
Yeah.
you were anchoring. The way this, I have an idea for Wednesday. For every live shot we have, we will have a backup plan. We will have a lead, which tosses to the package. And we will have a lead, which tosses to the live shot.
Okay.
So that immediately, if something like this happens, you skip the live shot lead in the prompter, and we keep the lead for the package.
So the thing with that is you were trying to change things in the prompter, but his prompter doesn't update.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't.
Okay,
That's what I was trying to tell him was like
so then what
skipping it.
you will tell him, read the lead just don't toss live to Ashlyn. Just say Ashlyn reports. Ashlyn, Grady Newsource reporter, so and so reports, instead of we're going live now. So immediately just, and it's something that you don't have experience as an anchor, but that's something you can do immediately. You know, if you know the live shot is dead and the producer tells you just toss to the package, you automatically know what to do. You read the lead and you say, instead of the sentence saying, Grady Newsource so-and-so joins us live from the scene, you say, Grady Newsource so-and-so reports. They play the package. That's how we get out of that situation. Next, on Wednesday, we're going to have all those backups, and from now on, we're going to have all those backups. That's the way, and we're just going to talk about the plans that we have. If something goes wrong with our live, we talk about the plans that we have to, you know, our plan B. Always have that plan B. And this is something that we didn't have today. And it, you know, we should have had it. And so this is what we should do. You and I, Isaiah, are going to go through the rundown on Wednesday. We're going to go through your scripts, and we're going to brainstorm, okay, if something goes wrong here, how are you going to recover? And I'll give you some tips and ideas what to do. You did your best, and you kept your cool, and we let you down. So we owe it to you, just like we did when we let down Marissa, to make Wednesday as smooth as possible so that you have something, you know, to be proud of. And this was okay because we were able to go to recorded stuff after that. And the E-block was very good. I liked the camera turn. There was just one point in which you were looking at the wrong camera, but it was a good block. So the A block was the only block in which things were awkward. And so that is my remedy, and that is something we will adopt as a rule for every time we have a live shot, that we always have a backup. Any of you guys have any ideas as to how else we could have avoided this, and how else I need also to be informed that something, if you have, you know, anytime something like this falls through, I need to know also. I didn't know. I was just like, what is going on? And so we need communication. But the first thing, do not communicate to me, communicate to the control staff, the production staff, because they are the ones who put things on air. And also the anchor. Those are the two priorities. And the decision by the producer has to be not probably, it's got to be the best decision you can take at that moment. It's not going to be the perfect decision, but it's a decision which avoids this awkward moment for Isaiah. So on Wednesday, we have a plan B. We make quick decisions. We sort of go through in our minds, okay, if this goes wrong, what are we going to do? We'll just take 10 minutes to think about these things. Okay, so let's see if the live shot goes wrong, if we don't have this, and then I think if we go through that and have in our mind how things could be better, and this was your first time producing, so then I think we will be in a better place dealing with these situations. Marissa and Peyton, from your point of view, what else can we do differently on Wednesday?
Oh, me. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like today could have gone so much better. I don't know. Like, everybody did put their best foot forward, I feel like. But I just feel like there was like a lot of just miscommunication today that could have been a lot better.
How could we have done a better how could we have communicated more effectively?
I guess, I mean.
And don't worry about, just
yeah.
Let's tell it like it is. We're not criticizing anyone. We just want to move forward.
Yeah.
So that's why we're sharing what
Yeah,
went
yeah,
wrong,
definitely.
so
I'm
that
sort
we
of-
can come up with
I'm
ways
sort of wondering if Slack is the best way to communicate, because I did communicate on Slack, and then I called Peyton, so I,
I think
don't know.
calling.
Yeah, calling is a lot better.
Slacking is
Yeah.
not because
Because,
we're
like,
all,
I don't
it's
see
the
it, you know?
how
Yeah.
it is, Ashlyn. It's the
Yeah.
last moment, you're not looking at your Slack.
And I feel like even calling, like I didn't get a response then, so I probably should have called more than just Peyton. But at that point,
calling
production.
is the best thing.
Yeah.
I will say that we did talk to production, and production knew, like,
Yeah.
2 people in production knew probably 20 minutes ahead of time that it was going downhill, and that it was very much a possibility at that point.
Yeah.
So I feel like that wasn't communicated to
No.
our producers too, even though I could.
No, I mean.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm gonna, sorry, I just have to say this. I'm gonna say we did know that audio was going downhill. None of us knew that
it was gonna be dead.
No.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
agree with that.
We all knew that audio was going downhill.
Right.
It could be a problem, but we did not know that the
Yeah.
laptop
Yeah.
was dead.
We all understood there were issues.
Yeah.
And that's what
and
a
like I didn't
producer
even know
needs
if it
to
was
be
dead at
resolute
4:58.
and
We were all
decisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really know who to talk to about
So
who would kill it.
that's
They
at the end
found
of the
out
day.
the same time we did. Like,
Yeah.
we were all in there going, what's,
Yeah.
why is there no live shot? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we looked up and she was not on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So would have
So-
who would have been the person to call it at that point?
That would have fell on me at the end of the day, and I wasn't sure because, like I said, I thought Jim had the cord. I thought everything was gonna go up from there because I heard that.
I think
you
it
know,
was just miscommunication because we thought. I think
Yeah.
Zach also thought that Jim was
Right.
on his way out, but he
But
was
the
just
thing
in
is,
control.
Ashley, so you communicated to the production staff
And then
that
also to
there was a
Peyton.
potential problem.
Yes.
But did you communicate it to the producer here
Yes,
in the
I
newsroom?
did. That was at 4:52 that I messaged them and said we're having problems
But you knew
with
it
audio.
at 4:30. Did you tell the producer that there was
That's
a...
when we were still trying to figure it out, and we thought that we were going to have a solution.
So if you had told her, she would have had a little more time to brainstorm a plan B.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, so maybe that also, you know, if...
Yeah, even though I feel like even then I called and we didn't know if it was killed at that point either.
At that point, you need to call the content producer. The content producer is the one who maintains the contact with all the people in the field.
Yeah.
That's how it works in professional newsrooms. So I would suggest from now on, if there's a problem, all of you reporters, you have to talk to your content producer.
Yeah.
This is your point person.
I feel
That's
like
their job, to maintain contact with everybody in the field and to know at every point, is there a potential problem? Is this package going to make it? What can we do as a plan B because I see there's a problem, and communicate it
Yeah.
immediately to all the staff. But it has to go through one person.
So
Yeah.
That's why we have a content producer, so that everything goes through that person and that person communicates to everyone.
The issue is that everyone in a leadership role in that room found out at the same time. So me, you, Alex, and Will, none of us were aware until the pre-tease and the lead were going that there was no live shot. We knew there were audio issues, but like there
We
are
didn't
always
know that,
audio
like,
issues.
yeah.
We weren't aware it was killed. Probably me. Peyton would have been a good choice, but she was helping out with something else at the time, which
Peyton
Yeah.
has to take care of the show, the rundown. You, as a content producer, are the one who has to get all the calls, always be on your phone, and communicate to the rest of us. What are the potentialities so that we're all on the same page? This is your job.
yes.
This is the job of the content producer. And it's a very important job. It's the most important job because you are keeping us all informed so that we avoid such, and I'm not saying you did nothing wrong today. I'm just saying for all of us, reminding you what the role of the content producer is. It's a very important role. It's a crucial role. And this is the person, when you're in trouble in the field, you call one person. Because, yeah. Nobody did anything wrong.
No, we're all
Just
learning, but
The
content producer
yeah.
is
But I
your
will say that like she kind of like
From my
pulled double duty
understanding
today. Like
is because Peyton was helping out. I mean, I know Brittany eventually walked over there, but I was
Yeah.
in there trying to like help the production get it ready
Mhm.
because we were still working on a package at 5:08, and that should not happen, ever. So I think that there were a lot of issues there as well.
Yes, we'll get to that issue as well.
Yes.
So
I think
nobody
Paige
did
had
anything
something she
wrong. I
wanted
don't
to
want
add.
anybody to feel bad about this. I
Yeah.
just want us to move forward
Right.
and to make a few clarifications. The most important being reminding ourselves
Right.
who the point person is whenever we're in trouble with something. It is the content producer. So if you're ever wondering who should I talk to, don't call Will or
no.
call the content producer and let the content producer communicate that.
And that's it.